I had the chance to talk to an anonymous team that have built a decentralized exchange, had phenomenal growth over the last month and a half, almost 2 months, now have an audit coming with MLabs, and now starting to engage with the community. This is Muesli Swap. Let's get into this interview.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
I have Chris and Samuel joining me on the podcast episode to talk about their DEX, Muesli Swap. It's something that came out of nowhere. I didn't know it was being built. I didn't even hear about it until I think it was early December. I thought, oh, okay, yeah, they're building the DEX. It will take a little while. Okay, it's another one that's popped out. But no, it's actually launched and you can actually use it. I had absolutely no idea, and I had to have a deep dive in and have a play with it. Chris, Samuel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having us. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're excited.
Okay, so I want to know a bit more about your background and how on earth you guys built out this platform as quickly as you did. Well, at least as quickly as I think you did. So Chris, could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into the Cardano ecosystem?
Okay, so I'm an educated computer scientist. I started with Cardano a few years ago when I bought some coins, and I really got into it with a friend when I started looking into NFTs in the beginning of the 2021. And from there on, I looked more into Cardano, and together with my co-founder Matt, we actually said, yeah, there's no DEX on Cardano, so we might as well build one. And I guess that's why we are here today. Yeah.
And Samuel, what's your background? How did you get into crypto and jump into Cardano?
Yeah, I'm also a computer scientist by training, and I've been fascinated by crypto for a long time. Basically fascinated by the decentralization of finance. So I also started out just by investing a little bit, and then it was actually Chris and Matt who got me into Cardano specifically. So yeah, they told me about how they were building the DEX on Smart Bitcoin Cash, and then planning on also building one on Cardano. And yeah, then I jumped in, and now I'm a developer at MuesliSwap.
How ambitious! So not just building a DEX on one chain, but also on Smart Bitcoin Cash. So that was the first thing that I looked at when I was looking at the DEX. I was trying to work out, okay, all right, so you guys have built one. I was going through the website and I saw that Smart Bitcoin Cash one as well. I didn't realize that we're doing that capability. That DEX looked a lot more mature and had a lot more features onto it. So I'm assuming you guys built that out first. Is that correct?
So maybe to clarify a bit. So Smart Bitcoin Cash is basically an Ethereum or an EVM compatible sidechain to Bitcoin Cash. So what we have on Smart Bitcoin Cash is basically more with Solidity and all the Ethereum stuff. So it was easier for us to build it. While in Cardano, you have this underlying UTXO model. So we basically started from ground zero. But of course, in the long term, we also want the solid DEX on Cardano as well with a lot of these features.
Okay, so there's no really cross-developing skills that you could borrow from one to the other, is there?
I mean, in some sense, yes, because it's so maybe on the highest level, like all the concepts like liquidity pools and also how you manage the community, how you market your product and all these things, they are similar. But if it's about the core product and the smart contracts, no, there is not really like a one-to-one transition you can do.
Okay. So how long has that Smart Bitcoin Cash exchange been out?
So we launched it back in September. So our primary core goal was always to build for Cardano. And while we build on Cardano, like my co-founder Matt, he said, oh yeah, there's this other nice sidechain which actually doesn't really have a working DEX. So we thought, yeah, we might as well launch a DEX there too. So during the process where we were building the one for Cardano, yes, that's how we started with Smart Bitcoin Cash. And the core goal or the main goal was always to launch on Cardano. Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's great. All right, focus on building on Cardano, but hey, we'll just do this thing on the side because we can. That's really cool. All right. So I noticed the team itself, you do have a bunch of Haskell developers that came into it. So Chris, are you a Haskell developer as well? Samuel, are you a Haskell developer?
So Yeah, so we are trained computer scientists, and as part of the course, we have been exposed to Haskell and have had quite some experience with developing Haskell. But then also, so after that, we basically started by looking more into it specifically than for building on Cardano, and specifically also looking into Plutus Core. But yeah, we have that background from university, definitely.
So I guess that makes it a lot easier for you. Did you go through the Plutus Pioneer program and all that as well?
So part of our team, how should I say, we were not official participants, but we tagged along on YouTube and looked at all the code examples and tried to do the exercises as well and so on. So yes, we joined in some sense, we also joined the Plutus Pioneer program, but not officially. So it's like a very good starting point if you want to start building on Cardano, is to look at like the resources from the Plutus Pioneer program.
Yeah, and it does help if you have that Haskell background as well, because if you're coming from a regular development program like an object-oriented programming and you're jumping into Haskell and Plutus, it's a little bit different. So it does take a little while to get your head around it and understand those concepts. Okay, so you guys essentially won the title of first decentralized exchange on Cardano. It's a platform, it's decentralized, you can exchange tokens, everything that's on there at the moment. And you've had quite phenomenal growth over the last few months since you launched. So it was on the 24th of November, is that correct?
I think, yeah, roughly this date. Yeah, I think 24th, 25th, somewhere around. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on where in the world you are. For me, it was 25th,
exactly.
I think. Yeah. So you had this phenomenal growth, and the way that the DEX actually works, it's not. If you come from the Ethereum space and you're using Uniswap, for example, it's very different to how that works. Can you explain to the users how your DEX compares to something like Uniswap?
Yeah, so basically, we can categorize, or a name to put on our DEX would be a decentralized order book exchange. And yeah, those classic order book exchanges are actually really well known. Mostly from centralized exchanges though. So, but then when we transferred to Cardano, we actually realized that the underlying Cardano model makes it really easy and really convenient to have this order book type exchange. And how it works is basically that you go on our front end, and by placing an order, basically what our front end does is it builds a transaction and sends it to the smart contract on the chain. And then we have our decentralized matchmaker, which looks at all the orders and finds matching pairs between those, matches them up, and then that's how you can trade on it. And yeah, but as you said, so many people in the beginning were quite confused on how it works, because the DEXs like Uniswap or PancakeSwap, for example, work quite differently with the automated market maker model. So yeah, we had some explaining to do, but I think after quite some time, so people really got used to it really fast and are also enjoying it. So it also has quite a lot of benefits. So you're able to place limit orders, for example, so you can specify your limit, and then, for example, you go to bed, and on the next day you can see that your limit order has been matched. So this is really, really convenient for this. And it's also nice for people to be actually able to see how the market moves through our order book model. So you can see how people place all those orders, and then how the price is, for example, slightly rising. So yeah, this is really cool.
It's one of those things that if you go into the reading and understanding of a decentralized exchange, and you firstly understand liquidity pools, the automated market maker, but there was always like a part in the literature that said the order book is something that is a really desirable feature of decentralized exchanges, but it hadn't really come about. But with the UTX model, Cardano's actually being able to deliver that. So now are you guys working back with your DEX to actually provide the automated market maker and other aspects that are similar to what other people are used to in the decentralized exchange space?
So our end goal is probably some kind of hybrid model, because they are very desirable features, as I mentioned, for example, the limit orders and all these things. So we definitely want to keep them. But the AMM is nice because it's a way to get more liquidity into the market. So our end goal is to have this kind of hybrid model, but also automated market makers is not the only solution on how you can get liquidity into the market. So short term, we are also working on some different other solutions. And in the long term, yes, our goal is to have kind of a hybrid model so that everybody can become a liquidity provider to the protocol. And at the same time, we keep all these features like limit orders and so on.
Yeah, I do like the limit orders. It's a very convenient feature. So you mentioned there are some short-term goals on how to get more liquidity to the DEX. Can you share anything about that?
Yeah, so the short term, I think we kind of want to keep it as a secret. So we have like one feature coming up very soon on how to get more liquidity in our DEX, and our plan is also to involve the community with it. So yeah, we are planning to post more tutorials and how the community can also engage with that and yeah, also improve the liquidity. But then we have other features which will of course improve the experience of users and make it a lot smoother, for example. So right now you can see all those orders that people placed, and you can click on them and yeah, send your corresponding matching order. But a lot of users also requested like a partial matching. So sometimes there's not just the right amount. So you don't find the amount that you want to buy or to sell while scrolling through the order book. So yeah, we want to make it possible also for users to match partial orders, such it will be much easier to match yeah, your desired amount of tokens.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So maybe we should go back to how the order book thing works as well. So you're saying at the moment, if someone puts in 1,000 milk tokens for 100 ADA, I'll be able to just buy 500 of those milk tokens at that price.
So at the moment, not. And the reason is why we don't have this at the moment is because you have kind of a lot of constraints from the underlying Cardano network and how big your transaction size can be, how much memory you can use and so on. But we find some kind of nice tricks how to circumvent this. And I guess you already heard we will do this upgrade to MuesliSwap v2 very soon.
Yeah.
And one of the features that will come will actually be exactly that, so that you will be allowed to just buy 500 out of this 1,000 milk order basically that someone else placed.
Really cool. Okay. You also mentioned a little bit earlier, Samuel, the auto matching overnight. So if I didn't see this in play because the way I use the DEX is I look for something that I want to purchase at that particular price and I execute that buy or sell at that particular point. So you're saying I could put in a order for a particular value at a particular price and your system will match up that for me, or is someone else matching it at the other end and buying or selling it against what I put in?
So you'll have to wait until somebody else is matching it, but you can kind of play the market a little bit. So if you, for example, anticipate that the price will rise, or example, the price will fall overnight, then you can just place your order while anticipating that. And if it becomes true, then of course people will start to put in orders with the adjusted prices, and then your order will be matched.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. That's how I was playing it. So that works exactly to how I was using it. So in terms of the price then that comes through, the price metrics that come on the DEX, are you pulling in a feed from external market places, or is it purely what the DEX is coming up with the demand from the users?
So at the moment, it's only basically the demand of the users. And that's also what you see in, for example, in AMM models. So it's always, I mean, of course, we are like a place where people meet to change tokens. So taking in like kind of an external price feed would kind of, I don't know, circumvent this or not really allow proper trading. But I guess in the long term, what you will see is that if there would be another exchange where the price might be a little lower or higher, then someone will probably come, make a business out of it to arbitrage it. So he would probably buy the tokens on the one exchange and sell it on the other one. So this kind of comes automatically while the Cardano system grows. So no, we don't do this. Our goal is really to keep the smart contracts and the focus on the blockchain as simple as possible. So yeah.
Great. I did see arbitrage opportunities as soon as the World Mobile token was listed on centralized exchanges, and looking at the price difference between MuesliSwap and the other centralized exchanges. So I did see that happen, and I think a lot of people executed orders accordingly, which is cool. Which is the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned V2 of the DEX and a couple of the features, the partial order matching. Is there anything else that you can reveal?
So first for the V2, it's more like the smart contract will be a version 2. There will be a version 2, which then allows us to to roll out some additional features. But for the DEX, like there's no fixed point where we have a DEX version 2, but we'll just roll out those features over time. But for example, what you can expect in the very near future will be an NFT marketplace. And we have already set up all the infrastructure for doing that, and we just need to develop a little bit of the front end, and then people will be able to also buy and sell NFTs on our exchange.
That's cool. So you're swapping tokens, buying NFTs. I have to say that it did feel like using a NFT marketplace, your DEX, because like essentially everything at your list might be an NFT, for example, and you're just picking and buying and placing your tokens up for sale on an NFT marketplace.
So I guess that's also
a really interesting association.
Yeah, very interesting. But that's also a bit how Cardano works, because that's kind of the nice thing. And NFT is also in some sense just a token, right? So it makes sense that our protocol will be able to handle both. So so you can think of V2 more like an infrastructure upgrade. And based on this new infrastructure, we will be rolling out more and more.
Now, I saw a post also that MLabs were doing a audit of your code at the moment. So I'm assuming that's everything that's coming up, as well as everything that you've developed at the moment. So that's a pretty cool process. When is that going to happen, and when will we find out a little bit more about that audit?
So we expect the audit by MLabs to be finished by the end of January. So that will be quite soon. So you'll have updates quite soon. Some of the new features, such as the NFT Marketplace, as we said, you can also expect them very soon. But then some other features, which will be included in, or which will be possible through our smart contract version 2, will start to roll out over time. So for example, liquidity pools, we also really plan on having those, but it will take a little bit more time for that. But then, there will also be other solutions that we provide, as we said before, to provide more liquidity.
Were there hard challenges in building this? I know everyone is had to write massive blog posts about their concurrency solution and how they're going to scale. But it seems like you guys are handling scaling quite well at the moment, and concurrency. So I'm assuming they weren't challenges, but how are you guys handling this?
So maybe if you look at this concurrency issue actually arises if you look at the automated market maker model, where a lot of orders want to access the same kind of liquidity pool. But for us, each order is in some sense a single UTXO. So you don't have the contention where everybody tries to like get the same thing. So we don't really like our order book model doesn't really suffer from this contention around one single UTXOs, and that's why our model is much more or basically better in concurrency than other models currently on the Cardano blockchain. And that's also why we are kind of able to scale to, I don't know, more than 10 transactions per block and so on.
That is exactly how many of the NFT marketplaces work as well. Were there any other issues that you had in regards to developing the DEX, or any other challenges? Because it really sounds like you guys just breezed through the entire process.
Especially in the beginning, I think you might have noticed that there was a lot of criticism from the community, or maybe just a lot of doubt, probably partially because we were anonymous in the beginning. But so we faced some criticism, but then luckily we overcame that quite soon, and currently we have like a really good community, and it's really supportive. So, but that was definitely a challenge that we faced in the beginning.
Yeah, I actually like that stealth approach. It's not many projects do it because the Cardano community is so not so against it, but they really like that auditability of projects and knowing who's behind it. So what was the strategy behind going stealth and going anonymous as opposed to revealing yourself like every other DEX has and saying, hey, we're here, we're building this, please come along and support us?
Okay, so I mean, already before we launched MuesliSwap, we already announced, yeah, we are building a DEX on Cardano and so on. But to be honest, there are so many DEX projects, at least in the beginning phase in the Cardano ecosystem. So it's kind of hard to stick out. So our approach was rather to like just build and deliver. And then at some point, yeah, we had a solution. We did our own test net. We tested everything, made sure that everything works, asked different community members to look over the contracts and so on. And then when we were kind of certain, yeah, now it works, then we were out there and say, yeah, guys, now we have a working DEX. And it was also, I don't know, looking back, it might also have been the right approach, because instead of having like a massive launch where we need to kind of be afraid that, I don't know, it doesn't work and so on, we had this like people coming in, and now we see like a continuous growth day over day, and that's also nice. So our infrastructure can scale with it. And in the beginning, our goal was actually to be kind of anonymous and have it like focus on the core product, the DEX. But I think that people addressed like red flags in the projects, and our main goal was simply to like go to these red flags and say, yeah, we want to solve them. We want to like, we don't want that people can find them out. So our goal was to address them step by step. And one of the reasons is also why we're here today. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, it's good to engage with the community and see your faces. So it's a brilliant approach. Like I said, I didn't mind the stealth approach. I had no idea that you guys actually announced it. And like you said, the marketplace is pretty saturated for the decentralized exchanges, as I don't know how many are being built now. I've lost count.
Yeah, let's see how many will come to market at the end. That's going to be very interesting.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So your DEX has a token called the milk token. I did buy some up early. I thought, why not? Everyone could do with some more milk. What is the purpose of the milk token? Why did I buy it?
Yes, so this is also one of the features that you can expect in the very, very near future. So yeah, we promised milk utility, and there will be some use for milk. We will also start to roll out more use cases as the time progresses, but we have like a few use cases planned up coming very soon. So yeah.
Wait and see. Okay. So yeah, the general roadmap. So kind of when we released milk, we like kind of outlined the roadmap, and our idea was that while we progress the DEX, build more and more features, there will also be more and more utilities coming in for milk. And as Sam said, we will soon start to see the first utilities. And I think at the end it will be like a very nice coin with actually a lot of nice features. And I think it also, with the popularity of MuesliSwap, I guess you also see like a continuous price increase in milk. I guess when you bought early, you also already noticed. So yes.
Yeah, it was rather convenient. I think I tweeted it out to you guys like a little while back, and it's like, oh, I'm glad I bought that milk. It's gone up a little bit.
Yeah, we also see it's really nice to see so many people like building stuff around MuesliSwap now, like from Discord price bots. Like Pavia reached out, they wanted to like a feed on their website with the price, and there's so many people. Well, I think we talked about these matchmakers, right? And we didn't even come to yet to give out the big guide on how to decentralize it. But there are already so many people like building it their own, reaching out. They need some help to understand this and this, and it's really like amazing to see actually how many people are already building products around it. So
I guess because like a lot of these tokens they aren't listed anywhere else, and the community wants to trade and buy them. Like the Pavia token for one, the community is really big. It's huge, and the only place that you can trade and sell it is on MuesliSwap at the moment.
Yeah.
So all those little tools are coming out. That's really cool. I had no idea. I didn't see. I'm part of the Pavia Discord. I haven't seen that come out yet. Is it out? Is it released?
I'm not sure. They just reached out to me last week, so probably not. But I mean, It's just in general. There are also like other people that build them maybe for their Discord channel, also showing the Pavia price and Husky price and all these things. So yeah, it's really interesting to see how many people are actually developers and really interested in like to do stuff around it and actually also contribute. And so yeah, it's really nice.
Is there an API or anything that developers can tap into to talk to your DEX, get data from it?
I mean, there is. The problem is we also didn't come around that to like properly document it. So I think most people they kind of reverse engineered it to see where they can like try this from or ask us directly. But we will. I think it's on my list. We will try to like do more documentation so that more.
Yeah, documentation comes after, right? You build the product and let the devs work out.
It should come one by one, of course. So we will hope to have all these things out soon. Yeah.
Cool. Well, what else has come from the community? Like, is now that you've engaged more, like what else have you seen that's been pretty cool? Like, I know you did a meme contest a little while back, and that kind of got some attention and a lot of creativity out there as well. But what else has come from the community?
I think what's kind of nice is actually to see that some people actually already became like day traders on MuesliSwap. So we have some people that tell us, yeah, I'm placing like 100 orders daily, and I'm trying to do this and this, and I'm trying to come up with a trading strategy and so on. So it's like really interesting to see.
A really cool thing is also that many people from the community just start contacting us and give us suggestions on what we could improve, and then also try to think about, for example, how to get more liquidity. So yeah, this has been really awesome to see, like all those people trying to help out.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't provide you guys any feedback with the user interface, but when I was going through and getting confused in my demonstration of how to use it, a couple of tweaks and a couple of sorting things with the columns for the order books would have made ordering a lot easier. But I'm pretty sure that some of that feedback would have gone back to you already.
Yeah.
I saw that video. And
yeah, me too.
Okay, cool. Cool, awesome.
So yeah, we are currently also working with some UX designers and so on to see how we can actually change the UI a bit and also increase the user experience. So I think there will also be a few new things coming out in the near future as well. So
okay.
A lot of things on our plate at the moment, yeah.
How do you guys fund the project? Because like, how many people are in the team now?
So we're actually 8 people now.
Okay.
So so funding is a big thing, of course. I mean, we did our pre-sale in the beginning, but we don't have any funding from any venture capitals or anything yet. But part of the milk was also intended to go to investors. So yeah, we are starting to look into this pathway at the moment, and also to have, because we have like some other ideas as well, and maybe to also do more marketing. So we are looking into different ways on how to obtain more funding. Yes, I mean, paying, like, I think for now everyone is happy to be part of the team, but at some point everyone also wants to see salary and so on. So
yeah, exactly. Like it's definitely a good stamp on the resume to be a part of the team that launched the first DEX on Cardano. So that's absolutely awesome. But yeah, eventually you like to get paid, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we are working on that as well. But right now we don't have any venture capitals or anything investing in this as well.
Okay. Well, I do know that the DEX itself has those fees. So eventually, over time, you're generating a little bit of revenue on it, but it's not essential. It's not a huge amount of ADA that's being taken on the fees.
So actually, the funny thing is, we need to rename the things a bit, because we need to start introducing a fee, because what we take now is not a fee that MuesliSwap gets, because what we take in fee is basically, so we take the 0.6 ADA. And it's basically paid to the decentralized matchmakers. And out of these 0.6 ADA, 0.52 or something go for network fees to match the orders. So I think the matchmakers, they get an incentives like 0.08 ADA or something for every order they match. Yeah. But at the moment we don't take any fee, and this will also change so that we can generate some revenue. I think this is understandable. We're just kind of trying to figure out right now how this fee structure will be. And it's not official yet, but one of the main utilities that will come very soon is basically that the fee will be scrapped or very reduced for milk holders. So
I see. Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I don't mind paying a fee towards the DEX to facilitate the transactions, not only to the DEX, but also the blockchain, of course. And you said milk holders will benefit from reduced fees, right?
Yeah, exactly. That
good.
will be one of the ideas. But we of course still need to figure out what is the right amount of milk and all these things. It's all a bit tricky to get these numbers right.
Yes, the whole tokenomics aspects of every single project is hard. I know. It's quite different.
And it's not really easy to introduce those once like the whole community is used to it being completely, or not completely, but mostly free. So yeah, we have to kind of work on the strategy on how to roll that out, and yeah.
Good luck. What about operating costs? Like I know because a lot of it's offset because everything's on the blockchain, but in terms of like the interface of the website itself and hosting servers, is that a large cost in terms of operations, or is that like very fractional because it's just like a React front end or something?
I mean, I think in the beginning it was kind of fractional, but now it starts to become bigger and bigger, because one thing is of course the front end, but then you also need kind of analytics service that keep track of the blockchain, produce price graphs, history data. Then you need to have other backends that give you like the order book view and basically scrape the blockchain for the other matchmakers and so on. So yeah, with like, how should I say, with the increased amount of users, also the costs go up, but it's still bearable at the moment.
Still bearable at the moment. Okay. In terms of that growth, like, can you give me some numbers? I saw some graphs, but I'm trying to like picture it in my head at the moment. So like, let's say at the beginning of December, you had how much locked ADA, how many transactions, and to now, like what is that growth?
I think this total locked volume that we started to see in DeFi Llama is kind of a tricky metric for MuesliSwap actually, because I mean, we don't have liquidity providers, but what you see in locked value is just what open orders, right?
Yeah.
So I think the swapping volume really increased. So the peak we saw now was above nearly 2 million ADAs on a day.
2 million ADA a day being swapped through it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
and what we've all seen is like we can kind of keep track how many unique addresses basically placed orders for content. So not connected, but really placed orders. And I think we've nearly seen this number is probably outdated again, but it was at least more than 15,000 different wallets that really connected and placed orders and so on. So that's actually 15,000 people is already a huge number.
Yeah.
And it's growing daily. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. That's essentially unique users. Like if it's a unique wallet that's connecting, that's a unique user. Like I don't know many people that will connect multiple different wallets to trade. I think a lot of people, they make a new wallet to trade. So I would doubt that a lot of people have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of these metrics are kind of nice to see that there is still like interest and growth.
Of course, there's interest and growth. It's growing every day. It's brilliant. Keep on pumping out those graphs on Twitter and showing off your numbers. It's really cool.
Yeah, and also through the front end, you can also always see the volume and then how it increases or increased, especially since like maybe early mid-December. Oh, yeah. So that is also quite nice to always see in real time.
I did like the finally seeing the graphs and the price data through the UI as well. So you have a better understanding of what you're trading and the trade history and everything else. Are you going to interface in other trade indicators onto those graphs, such as Bollinger Bands, RSI, or those other metrics that you normally see on TradeView?
I think at least one thing that will definitely come is at the moment we only have like the candlestick charts, so there will also be line charts for sure, and then we will look into which kind of metrics makes most sense for our model. And then another thing that will come is also that what they're already in talks with is CoinGecko and also CoinMarketCap. So people will also be able to basically use CoinMarketCap to see the price charts and all these things, and they also already provide a lot of tools for like more detailed analysis. But yeah, we will try to roll out some more tools to MuesliSwap as well.
Okay.
That you have those prices all lined up and can compare them, because in the beginning we had quite some people coming up or people pointing out in YouTube videos, for example, that the price they see on MuesliSwap doesn't line up with, for example, CoinMarketCap. But of course, we just compute it by the orders that have been placed, and we didn't take it from CoinMarketCap. So of course, people can expect to see a different price there. But yeah, many were confused about that and also saw that as a red flag. Yeah.
Wow. But it was mostly the difference between ADA and US dollar, because there's no stable coin on the chain. So we show all the prices in ADA. And as soon this will change, then we will also be able to like show prices in ADA and in US dollar without using any external price feeds, basically.
How do you guys choose what tokens get listed on the exchange?
So, okay, so one of the features that will come out the next few days is trade anything, which basically means that any coin in the Cardano ecosystem will be able to be traded on MuesliSwap.
So I can go in and put my own token.
Yeah, exactly, in some sense. Yeah, in some sense. but what will come is, so what our page is more then will be more like a featured listing. So like the most traded coins and like a quick search for people that are looking for some specific coins. But right now, basically just listen to the community and hear what people want to say. But now we have really a problem because we have so many listing requests, and most of them are like, I don't want to be actually impolite or anything, but it's like meme coin 150 trying to apply without like the 5 folders. And then it's kind of hard to say, no, we don't want to list you, because kind of like we still want to be decentralized, but we only have limited place on the page. So we will, that's why the trade anything feature will come very soon. But it's kind of tricky to do because we're currently setting up like a scam register and everything, because you know, if basically any token can be traded, there will also be people trying to scam others and so on. So this needs to happen first. Yeah.
Okay. Good luck with traversing that space.
Nice.
So a couple more hard questions for you guys. Since you guys did the Smart Bitcoin Cash DEX and the Cardano DEX, are you going to look at cross-chain interoperability or anything?
I guess in the long-term future, yes. But for us, it's kind of, so as it's like an EVM sidechain, as soon as like the official IOHK Ethereum bridge will be there, it will also be kind of easier for us to build this kind of same bridge towards Smart Bitcoin Cash. So I guess before we see kind of an official Ethereum bridge or something like that, there will also not be a cross-chain operability. But once like Cardano growth and all these projects mature, then yes, we will try to build something as well.
My final question, 2022 seems to be the year for Cardano. So Chris, and then I'll go to you, Samuel. What do you predict 2022 will look like for Cardano in general?
I think it will be very, very interesting growth, also very challenging. Now in the beginning, you will see a lot of projects launching, and then scalability might become an issue. But I think from early on, Cardano said that it will always first be the smart contracts, and then scalability will come into place. So I think at the end of 2022, we will see a very thriving ecosystem with a lot of very nice projects, and hopefully also people coming in from other blockchains seeing the benefits of Cardano and like really be happy ADA holders at the end. Yeah, that's my guess for 2022. So it will be a good year for Cardano. Yes.
And Samuel?
Yeah, I really think that like from the outsider perspective, it kind of I think many people on other chains don't really realize that Cardano is working now. That basically you can have dApps on Cardano, and yeah, I think at some point, so now that the DEXs are starting to roll out, people will like also from other chains realize that and then also start coming over. But currently, yeah, so it still feels like many people have not realized that and have not like actually seen the potential of Cardano. And yeah, once also like scalability like has been improved with Hydra, I think yeah, that will probably lead to even more people from outside like noticing that and starting to come into Cardano.
Maybe to add one thing. So also for ADA holders themselves, I think maybe a year back, the main utility you could do, I guess, was you could send your ADAs to other wallets, and then you were able at some point to also have like native tokens and the NFTs and all this. But I think it's also like a big step for all the people that invested in Cardano to actually now use their tokens to really do interactions with the apps and so on. So also for all the ADA holders, it's kind of a transition from being a blockchain that had some like small features and now into like a big ecosystem where a lot of people are building around it, and also like all the new wallets like Nami coming in. So our main task at the moment is also to give a lot of support for people to understand concepts like collateral and how to migrate from one to the other wallets and all these things. So yes, it will be interesting for all the projects coming, and I guess also for all the people involved in the Cardano community.
There is definitely a lot of training and education required for everyone in the ecosystem. And like you said, Samuel, especially people coming into Cardano that haven't touched it or still think it's a ghost chain with absolutely nothing being built on it. So it is going to be an exciting 2022, and I'm really looking forward to it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this interview and giving me a really good overview of MuesliSwap and what you guys are doing here. It's really good to see your faces and be shown to the community as opposed to being an anonymous team now as well. And we're glad to have you here.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much for the invite and taking the time to interview us today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris and Samuel, for joining me on the episode. It was an absolute pleasure getting to know you a little bit better and understanding the process, the growth, the development, and everything around the decentralized exchange. It was really cool to understand all those aspects. And I really hope you, as a listener and viewer, got something out of this as well, and probably now might want to actually use MuesliSwap, see what it's like, see that swapping experience on a Cardano exchange, the first Cardano exchange to be launched on the Cardano blockchain. There you go. All right. If you like this type of content, please make sure you give me that thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and click on the notification bell, and you hear more really great Cardano related content from me soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debating.